Okay, so here we are once again with another Mcfarlane DC Multiverse unboxing, and this one is Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lanterns. What an odd way to label that. All right, so this is a figure that I already have a couple of different uh, repaints, remolds, retools, however you want to put it. Basically, a couple of different versions of this figure that I have already, and one of them is John Stewart. So obviously he has a different head. But other than that, everything from the neck down is the same sculpt. And then I have this Hal Jordan. This is the one that came in the 2-pack with the Dark Knight's metal bat lantern, whatever that character was called. Looks a lot like Ethan Van Sciver's artwork. This one also looks a lot like Ethan Van Sciver's Green Lantern, but it's not the same sculpt at all. So I'll get into talking about the differences. At least the hair is different. It might be the same face. It is a very similar face, but I don't think it's the same face. Anyway, let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, first let's look at the back. I believe that's Carlos Pacheco did that artwork. It looks like his style. So I think that's his. It looks really good. Let's go ahead and open it up. It is a gold label. I got this at Walmart. I got it a while back when it was marked down. I probably should have got more than one because he would have been good to use for like custom pieces. If I'd have been able to get an extra one of the Parallax Sinestro and an extra one of these, I could have used this head for doing a Parallax Hal Jordan, but I didn't think about it either one of those things at the time. Oh well. And he comes with a couple of accessories, neither one of which is a power battery. Uh, I think both of these came with the 2-pack I was talking about, but one is a jetpack, which as much as I love jetpacks, I don't know if Hal Jordan even really needs a jetpack. I was thinking maybe this was just something to give him a little bit of extra thrust, but he doesn't really need one. And then this is an accessory that I really like to have as an old school Green Lantern fan is a big old boxing glove. So yeah, him and Oliver Queen were big boxing fans, so they tended to make boxing gloves a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and get Hal Jordan out of the package, and then we can talk about some of the differences between this and the figure that I already have. So this is, I think, one of the earliest Green Lantern figures, like the body of it. I mean, that Mcfarlane did, if not the earliest one. And you can see it's got like a lot of different details to it. That in fact, when I first saw it, I thought maybe it was a Green Lantern figure based on like a video game or something. But as it turns out, it was just kind of like Mcfarlane doing their own thing with the design, and they got a little crazy with some of these details, but it does look cool. And I gotta say, I think that it looks even better with this metallic green. That was the thing that sold me on this figure. I wasn't sure if I was gonna buy it at first because I'm like, it is pretty awfully similar to the Green Lantern figure I already have, but that metallic green is really cool. So when I saw it on clearance, I had to get it. Bobby Wald is here, and he says, you think Green Lanterns should go with the times and switch from lanterns to flashlights or even LEDs? Well, to be fair, they had flashlights back in the time of Alan Scott, and it's still he made it a lantern. He kept it a lantern. He didn't update it to a flashlight or a spotlight or anything like that. And for those of you who don't know watching, some of you might already know, but I'm sure some of you don't. Green Lantern, when he was originally created in the 1940s, the Alan Scott version of Green Lantern, the Golden Age Green Lantern, was created by God, I'm drawing a blank on that guy's name right now, and it sucks because he's like a cool dude. He also created the Pillsbury Doughboy, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. It was MHD is here and says, "Hello, metallic green looks great." I agree 100%. So, yeah, why am I drawing a blank on this guy's name? Martin Odell. Martin Odell. Yeah. He eventually, after he quit the comic book industry, he went into advertising and he created the Pillsbury Doughboy. So Green Lantern and the Pillsbury Doughboy are brothers. Fun, huh? So yeah, he was inspired when he was on a train trip, and he noticed that the engineers working the tracks, uh, they had lanterns to signal the engineers in the trains what to do, and they had a red lantern and a green lantern. So that was where he's like, "Ooh, Green Lantern, that would be a cool name for a character," and took a little bit of inspiration from Aladdin, and came up with Green Lantern. So and in fact, in that original Green Lantern story, it shows that at first they make the meteor into a lamp, like Aladdin's lamp, and then they make it into a lantern after that, like a Chinese lantern. And then I think it's a madman in an insane asylum has it made into a more modern style lantern, and that's how Alan Scott keeps it. But yeah, we talked a little bit about Alan Scott a few episodes ago when we were talking about his kids, Jade and Obsidian, and I'm continuing with that Green Lantern theme right now. So yeah, it is pretty much the same sculpt, like I said, and it's the same sculpt that was also that John Stewart figure that I was talking about. But this Green Lantern, I think, has something that's a little bit better than either one of those. Is he has a solid fist for his power ring hand, which I really like. Both John Stewart and this Hal Jordan, you see they had open hands for their power ring hand, and I didn't like that as well as the solid fist. So that's really cool. The metallic green is really cool, and like I said, both of them look like their faces are somewhat inspired by the art of Ethan and Skyver. But this one looks like a little bit slightly more generic than that one, but it's still got a little bit of EVS type influence on it. And yeah, I know he's a controversial figure these days. Not everybody agrees with his politics and everything like that, but I'm not interested in discussing that on this channel. This is not the place for that. This is a place for frivolous fun, not politics. So OOF Master is here and says, "Can you stroke your beard, please?" Well, yeah, you stay tuned long enough and I'm going to stroke my beard. It's just going to happen. So kind of sick fetishes people out there have, but I can't help myself. It's just gonna happen, and if people enjoy it, people enjoy it. What can I do about it? Well, we got all kinds of strange things that we enjoy. Like I like girls in sweaters. It's just it's something that's inexplicable. It's ineffable. But the girls in sweaters are very effable. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes. So yeah, I do think that having this figure of Green Lantern and having the John Stewart figure of Green Lantern, and I think they did another John Stewart with this body too. I think this is probably actually the best use of this body. Oh, also you can notice that this one doesn't have the green panels on the side of the torso like Green Lantern usually has, and this one they actually did paint in the green panels on the side of the torso, underneath the arms. Still doesn't have trunks. It's still like a little bit more of a modern Green Lantern in that he doesn't have trunks, but what are you going to do? And there's all that kind of piping and ribbing and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, to me, this looks like something you would design for a video game or a live action movie. So at first, I thought it might have actually been them doing a figure of a video game version of Green Lantern, but nope, it was just Mcfarlane being Mcfarlane. So let's go ahead and I still haven't talked about the trading card and the figure stand. We don't want to forget those. So let's go ahead and get those taken care of. And I think like on the Sinestro episode, I just kind of glossed over the figure stand and didn't talk about it too much. But if you've seen these videos, you've seen me talk about the figure stands several times, and you're going to see me do it again right now. So just pretend like this is what I said during the Sinestro video. It's a standard black DC figure stand with a glossy black DC logo embossed onto it. The older style of figure stand before they switched back to the 1970s style DC logo. And it is on separate bubble from the trading card. So let's see if I can get the trading card off without any damage. And I was able to do that successfully. So there it is. It's got the same piece of artwork that was on the back of the package. That's what the back of the trading card looks like. And it reads, Green Lantern, Green Lanterns, data file, real name, Hal Jordan. Years of confronting evil and saving billions of lives have taught Hal that power and will are worthless without empathy and a sense of purpose. That's it. That's the whole bio? Well, I have to stroke my beard some more. Okay, so yeah, it's like that tells us nothing about this character. He understands empathy. Okay, so he's normal, I guess. I don't know. That's weird. Just like, what are his powers? What does he do for a living? Who are his friends? Who are his enemies? How did he get his ring? Like, tell me things like that in the book. I know all this stuff. I could probably tell the people who write these bios a lot more about these characters than they know. But I still want to have a good bio to read when I'm opening the action figure. God. Hal Jordan was a test pilot who was trying out a flight module for training pilots when all of a sudden he found himself whisked away by a beam of green energy to a dying alien named Abin Sur, who bequeathed him with his power ring and told him that it was now his responsibility to carry on as the space patrolman of Sector 2814, Green Lantern. Like, is that so hard? Like, I just come up with that stuff off the top of my head. So very disappointing bio on that trading card. Let's talk about the action figure some more. All right, so I've been over this body before a couple of times, and not much has changed. Like I said, it has a new hand and a new head, and everything from the neck down, other than that new hand, oh, there's two new hands. He's got a solid fist on the other hand. So even if he had a power battery, he wouldn't be able to hold it. But other than the hands and the head, everything on this figure is the same sculpt. And thankfully, his emblem is not crooked on the chest like the other one that I have. So, so yeah, nice head sculpt. The hair is a lot more windswept on this one, and like I said, it does look a little bit like Ethan Van Sciver's, but not as much like the other one. So I guess if you do have a distaste for EVS and you'd rather have a Green Lantern that looks like another artist drew him, hey, here's a good choice here. And I'm always a sucker for the metallic green paint on Green Lantern. I always think that that's a good look for him. So since I got him for like $8, I think it was definitely worth the $8 that I spent on it. It was a good deal. And like I said, I'd have gotten more if I could have, but or if I thought about it, I probably would have gotten. I should have gotten more, especially since with Green Lantern you can pretty much just stick any funky looking alien head on here, and you make a new alien Green Lantern. So that's cool. Anyway, let's talk about his articulation. So Green Lantern can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of goes from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders, and they raise up about that far. Green Lantern does have the cool Mcfarlane butterfly joint, so you get some wiggle room there. You can get a little bit more of a dynamic, dramatic pose out of that shoulder. I can decide whether to say dynamic or dramatic, but either one works, doesn't it? Bobby Wald says, who wore it better, Green Lantern with his one ring or the Mandarin with his 10 rings? Well, I think Green Lantern understands that sometimes less is more. But if I want to have like a cool, vaguely Asiatic supervillain with ring powers, I'm gonna pick Sinestro any day of the week. Sinestro could easily defeat the Mandarin. I'm just gonna lay that down for you right now. It's Sinestro all the way as far as that goes. And he didn't need Ben Kingsley to play like a decoy for him and be like a really boring character himself. God, Iron Man 3, what were they thinking with that one? The classic Mandarin of the comic books. He's pretty cool. I like him. So I know there's that whole Yellow Peril thing, but he was still a cool villain. And a friend of mine who's Asian, he was actually really ticked off when they had Trevor turn out to be like a fake terrorist, and then some white guy was the Mandarin, and he's like, man, they're taking food out of the mouth of an Asian actor by not having an Asian guy play the Mandarin. He was really bothered by that, and and I'm like, well, I guess they figure like it'd be like playing into the Yellow Peril stereotype to make an Asian guy the villain, and he's like, no, man, like the villain's always the best part. Like the villain's the character that you want to play as an actor. Like, but yeah. So there's different ways to look at these things, you know. And he's an Asian guy, and that was his opinion on Asian supervillains. So you know, maybe let a good Asian actor play a supervillain every now and again. You know, you don't have to make him like a stereotypical character. So and they did eventually have like an actual Asian Mandarin in the movie, even though they completely changed him up too. But that's beside the point. I never even saw Shang-Chi. I just didn't have the interest. But yeah, so he's got a bicep sole. Bicep rotates all the way around. He's got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. And honestly, I was a big fan of the comic book of Shang-Chi. I liked it back in the old days with like Doug Mensch and Paul Gulacy, I think is his name. That was some good comics there. Like really, they should have got the guy who played Bruce Lee to play Shang-Chi, and had maybe bring in Pierce Brosnan to play the James Bond type character, since he wasn't playing James Bond anymore. Anyway, so he's got cool Mcfarlane wrist articulation. Wrist rotates all around where the wrist meets the forearm and where the wrist meets the fist, and you can get all kinds of cool dramatic poses out of that ring. Pretty much move that around any which way you want to. So that's pretty cool. He's got the cool Mcfarlane torso articulation. So he can bend this way, he can bend that way, he can bend all the way back, all the way forward. This one is unusual in that it's got this kind of rubber sheath around the abs, so that way it doesn't interfere with the lines of the costume too much, and the green will actually move over the top of the black trunks. So that's interesting. Green Lantern does have a little bit of a wobble here at the thigh. Doesn't rotate all the way around, but it does move enough to give you a little bit of extra articulation there. Excellent range of motion as far as kicking upwards like that. Batgirl should have such a range of motion when she kicks, but I don't think she kicks that far. I thought I had Batgirl over here. I could have sworn I had Batgirl over here, but I don't see her around right now. It would have been fun to compare. Well, I got a new Batgirl figure on the way because I got that Art Adams looking Batgirl figure. So I better make sure I find her before then, because I'll definitely want to compare those two. So anyway, Green Lantern's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion you get at the knees. And no boot articulation, even though I think this is actually I don't think this is a separate piece of plastic here. I think they just painted the black on, or painted the green on one. I think that this is molded in green plastic, and that, but it might be painted. I'm not sure. I can't really tell. But he does have the cool Mcfarlane ankle articulations. The ankle rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the shin. The ankle rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the foot. He can point his foot down about that far, point his foot up about that far, and he's got toe articulation just to show off. So this is a really cool Green Lantern figure, and I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite Green Lantern figure. I think if we don't take characters into account, and we're just talking about like a good Green Lantern figure, I think this one is the best one. The John Stewart from Justice League, where like they reused the kind of textured body that Kyle Rayner had, and I really would have liked it if they had released this body as Hal Jordan also. I would like to have one. I would get an extra one and put a Hal Jordan head onto it, but damn, this figure's like $50 right now. And if I'd have known that it was going to go up in value that much at the time, I'd have just bought an extra one. I do really like the Silver Age Green Lantern figure, but I'm more of a fan of like the Bronze Age type costume. So I got to say, I like this one best. If they did this one with a Hal Jordan head, it would probably be my absolute favorite. But you could swap out the heads if you wanted to. But I don't want to mess up my John Stewart head. So my John Stewart figure. So I'll just keep the Silver Age Hal Jordan and the Bronze Age. It makes more sense that way, because Hal Jordan did originally appear in the Silver Age, of course, and John Stewart originally appeared in the Bronze Age. So if one of them is going to have the Silver Age costume, it's more appropriate that Hal has it, is it not? I would say. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at him with the accessories on, since I haven't done that yet. And he's got a little peg on the backpack. It fits right into a hole in the back, just like a GI Joe figure. Bobby Wald says, "Wow, he just kicked a field goal with that range of motion, right?" It's like, and it's not like Green Lantern even really needs to have that good of a range of motion as far as kicking goes, but it's nice to have, isn't it? So this is a boxing glove for the right hand, so it will fit over his ring hand, which makes sense because that's the hand that would be generating it. And there we go. That's him with all his accessories on. So and they're pretty cool accessories, even though I don't really know if a jetpack is necessary, but I'm not going to complain about a jetpack either because I love jetpacks. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this figure. I hope that you enjoyed the video, but even though we're done talking about this Hal Jordan Green Lantern figure, that's not to say that we're done talking about Hal Jordan as Green Lantern, because I've got one more Hal Jordan Green Lantern action figure to open up. That's going to be the next episode, and that ties in with one of my favorite comic book storylines of all time. So those of you who have been watching my videos and paying attention, you can probably guess which figure I'm talking about. If not, steal yourself for a surprise. Oh, I gave a hint. So anyway, but that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you like and subscribe. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe. They like it when you like and subscribe. And wouldn't you like to make me happy? I'm sure you would, because you just watched this whole video, so you must have gotten something out of it. So throw me a bone. Give me a subscription. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that little bell. Give me like one of those hype thingies. I still don't understand what that means, but that's apparently a thing now. So you can do that also. Really, anything that you can do to boost this video up in the algorithm. You can share it. You can talk about it on social media. Hey, I know this channel on YouTube where there's this bald bearded guy who sits on his couch talking about action figures. He's so freaking goofy. You gotta see it. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I don't care if you're laughing with me or you're laughing at me, as long as you're laughing. So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll be back next episode with the third of the Green Lantern figures that I have to open up. And then I think I'm going to get started on some Masters of the Universe. I think I'm going to open up that Thundercats He-Man figure. I think that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. And then next week, I'll be opening up the new cartoon collection figures. I got Bo, I got Whiplash, and I got Shadow Weaver. So those should be fun to talk about. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We will talk to you next time. Bye.